Welcome to the deep dive. We sort through the sources to pull out the key insights just for you. Today, we're going to take a moment actually to reflect on a pretty extraordinary life, someone who touched millions. We're diving into the legacy of Judge Frank Caprio. He passed away Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, at 88 after a long fight with pancreatic cancer. And our mission here really is to explore why. Why was he known globally as, the nicest judge in the world?
America's nicest judge, yeah.
Exactly. We want to look at his unique way of doing things in court, how he became this huge viral sensation, and also this really powerful message he shared just hours before he died. If you spend any time online, chances are you've seen Judge Caprio's work. It's kind of amazing how those courtroom videos just blew up.
Oh, absolutely. It was everywhere for a while.
Right. He built this massive social media following. Like 3.2 million on Instagram, over 1.5 million on TikTok. People just seem to connect with him.
It really did.
The sources say he was dishing out fair verdicts, showing this compassion,
Yeah.
just especially for small things, overdue parking tickets, traffic stuff. What do you think was the secret sauce there? What made those clips go so viral?
Well, I think it really taps into something universal, doesn't it? That human connection. See, most municipal courts, like the one where he served in Providence, Rhode Island, and he was there a long time, from 85 until he retired in 2023.
Right.
They're usually very fast, almost transactional. Judges have strict guidelines for minor stuff. Efficiency is key.
Get him in, get him out.
Pretty much. But
Yeah.
Judge Caprio, what set him apart, and I think what resonated globally, wasn't just that he was sometimes lenient. It was how. His whole style was about listening, really listening, with empathy. He didn't just, waive a fine automatically. He'd actually engage with the person's story. Why couldn't they pay? There's a difference, right, between someone who genuinely can't pay and someone who just, refuses.
That's a key distinction.
It is. And for the first person, maybe he'd offer community service instead, turning a penalty into something, productive. Or you'd see him talking to a kid who was in court with their parent, using humor, a bit of wisdom just to break the tension.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of those.
And his show, Caught in Providence, it was even Emmy nominated. It showed all of this, these unscripted, kind interactions. That really cemented his reputation. It showed people, look, even inside a formal legal system, there's room for humanity.
That's such a powerful point. It wasn't just being nice for the sake of it. It was a deeper kind of engagement, looking at the person behind the violation.
Exactly.
And moving beyond the courtroom for a second, there's that incredibly personal message he shared right at the end, just hours before he passed.
Oh, well.
What did that tell us about, the man himself, given everything we know about his public image?
Oh, that final message. Yeah, it really summed up his spirit, I think, his core beliefs. It was less than 24 hours before he died. He posted a video talking directly to his followers.
What did he say?
He said something like, "Last year, I asked you to pray for me, and it's very obvious that you did because I came through a very difficult period." But then he said, "Unfortunately, I've had a setback. I'm back in the hospital now, and I'm coming to you again, asking you to remember me in your prayers once more."
Wow. So open about it.
Incredibly open. He talked about his strong belief in the power of prayers and the Almighty above, and the caption on the video was just as moving. "As I continue this difficult battle, your prayers will lift my spirit." And, this kind of vulnerability, this reliance on faith, on his community, that wasn't just an end-of-life thing for him. It seems like it was part of who he was all along.
Yeah.
It really underlined that his compassion wasn't just like a judicial tactic. It was who he was, a deeply held personal philosophy.
That really hits home. And it connects to how he apparently viewed his diagnosis too, right?
Yeah.
Pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
The sources mentioned he said something like, "My first reaction was disbelief, but then I thought, I have lived a life full of blessings. I'm not going to let this define my later years."
To face something like that with such grace, such gratitude, even as things got worse, it's quite something. Puts things in perspective. It really does. It makes you think about how we face our own big challenges, doesn't it? Judge Caprio's legacy, when you boil it down, it's that compassion, that humility, and this fundamental belief in the good in people.
Even in a courtroom.
Especially in a courtroom, where you often see people at their lowest points, maybe their worst. Now, sure, some might argue maybe that this kind of personalized justice isn't always consistent. You could make that case.
The letter of the law argument.
Exactly. But Judge Caprio consistently showed that sometimes real justice means looking past the letter of the law. It means finding that discretion, that human element where maybe others wouldn't. And his influence, it clearly went way beyond Providence, Rhode Island, touched millions globally. And, he leaves behind a family, too. His wife, Joyce, 5 kids, 7 grandkids, 2 great-grandkids. Sounds like a very full life.
It's definitely a rich life, both public and private.
Mm.
So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway for you listening right now?
Huh.
We live in a world that can feel pretty rigid sometimes, right? Systems, information overload, maybe not always enough personal connection. What can Judge Caprio's life teach us? His commitment to empathy, his openness, that public reliance on faith and community. How can that inform how you navigate your own interactions? Personal ones, professional ones, maybe with a bit more understanding. How could his way of doing things maybe inspire us to look for and celebrate that goodness in people a bit more in our everyday lives? Something to think about.